Welcome into Outkick the Show. I am your fearless leader, Clay Travis, and I hope all of you are having a fantastic day wherever you may be across this great country or across this great world. This is Outkick the Show, presented by sportsbookreview.com. You guys know that I hate to brag. You know that I don't sit around and try to come up with ways to make myself look better. But I did go 10-4 in the opening week of college football games. And I got to encourage you right now, go check out Sportsbook Review right now, and you can get all the best numbers wherever you may be across the spectrum of the world of sports, sportsbookreview.com. Also, my gambling picks will be up tomorrow. But if you want to get rich, and you also want to get a copy of my new book, which, God bless Nike, they just sold me thousands of more copies of, Republicans Buy Sneakers Too, and you want it autographed, and you want to be a member of the Outkick VIP, go right now to Outkick.com and sign up. $99 for the year. It's a great deal. That, my friends, is a blood bank guarantee, which, by the way, tap the veins, boys and girls. Blood bank guarantee went 2-0. On Thursday night, Central Florida covered for us, and on Saturday night, the over in Alabama LSU hit. What will the blood bank guarantee be? I'll let you know this afternoon in the VIP, and then the rest of you will find out tomorrow at noon Central when the picks go up. All right, before I get into this Kaepernick mess, I want to say condolences to Florida State fans. You guys know that we've had our beefs over the years, that sometimes, at some points in time, you and I have not seen eye to eye. FSU Twitter has frequently come after me. But the truth of the matter is this: even I, humble, nice, friendly me, never trying to cause offense to anyone, even as I watched the debut last night of Willie Taggart. Maybe it's my new beach home just down the street on 30A. Maybe it's just me becoming more empathetic. Maybe it's just me becoming a better human. I actually felt a little sorry for FSU fans. They were there in their stadium on a Monday night. They were so excited to watch their team take the field, and they got their teeth kicked in as 7.5-point favorites. One of the worst coaching debuts we've ever seen in the history of college football. Matt Rule, tough down in Baylor, but everybody knew Baylor was going to be bad. Chip Kelly, first time at Oregon, LeGarrette Blount punch night. Our guy, Willie Taggart, at McNeese State, took it to him when he was at USF. There aren't that many bad debuts like this. Ominous sign indeed to lose 24-3 and look as incompetent on the sideline. Felt a little bit like I was watching Derek Mason coach the first time against Temple. Felt a little bit like I was watching down at Texas when Tom Herman took the field for the first time against Maryland and got kicked in the teeth both of the first 2 years. But that is college football. My top 10 is out up at Outkick. I'll have picks up tomorrow, and let's get into the news of the day. The news of the day is this: Nike decided to throw the NFL, every reasonable, moderate person out there in the world of sports who looks to sports as an escape from politics, not as a reflection of politics, into this awful, stupid, unbelievably maladroit decision of theirs, which was to give Colin Kaepernick millions of dollars to star in an advertising campaign with this as the tagline: believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything. Let's actually break down this slogan, and then I'll talk about all the impact that surrounds it and why I think it's bad for American sports fans for the decision that Nike made. First of all, believe in something. I think everybody out there believes in something. I believe in the First Amendment and boobs, for instance. You can have your own beliefs, whatever they may be. But I got to tell you, believing in something is not that brave, okay? This is the slogan: even if it means sacrificing everything. What did Colin Kaepernick actually sacrifice? A backup deal as the 42nd best quarterback in the NFL, which would have paid him $1.5 million a year and never seen him on the field? Colin Kaepernick didn't sacrifice anything. He chose not to follow the rules of his employer, and he wasn't good enough to be employed as a result. If I suddenly decided to curse all the time on my national radio show, I would get fired. That would be because I was refusing to follow the obligations of my job. If I got fired from my national radio show for violating the rules of that job, and then I got another job that paid me more money, would you say that I had sacrificed everything? Or would you say that I had gotten lucky and gotten a better job? It's not a sacrifice when you leave one job and get another job and it pays you better. That's actually the goal of American commerce and life. I hope that I can keep sacrificing in my life and keep making more money to do similar things. Right now, Colin Kaepernick is getting paid more money to work less. I don't understand how that's a sacrifice. If so, I would love for that to happen. When my alarm goes off at 4:15, I would love to be able to roll over, hit it, sleep for 3 more hours, and make more money. Because then I would be sacrificing getting up at 4:15 to make more money and get up at 7:15. I would be working less and making more money. So you haven't sacrificed everything if you become better employed and make more money to do less work. That's literally the goal of just about every human I know. Would you think it was great if I came on and said, guys, I want you to know I have sacrificed everything. And then everybody said, really? What did you sacrifice? What was the everything that you sacrificed? And I said, well, I got to tell you, I've been saying exactly what I think, and now I'm going to get paid more money to say exactly what I think and have to work less. Would you say, oh, you know what? That Clay Travis, he believed in something, and even if it meant sacrificing everything, he made more money. And if you're out there and you're thinking, well, what does this mean? Charles Robinson at Yahoo Sports reports that Colin Kaepernick is going to have his own branded line, that he's going to have shoes, shirts, jerseys, etc. There will be Kaepernick apparel. The contract is a star deal. This is according to Yahoo Sports. On par with a top-end NFL player, millions per year. Star deals also include royalties. So Colin Kaepernick is being paid as if he is one of the best players in the NFL. Now, this is an important point here that I think embodies what has happened in the world of sports in general. What Nike is saying here is we are not going to pay any longer this individual based on their extreme talent in sports. You might not have liked Michael Jordan. You might not like Serena Williams. You might not like Tiger Woods, Andre Agassi, Pete Sampras. They were among the best at what they did in sports, and as a result, Nike signed them. Steph Curry said the Warriors weren't going to go to the White House. That's his right. I'm an Under Armour shareholder. Steph Curry's a really good basketball player. He didn't get an endorsement deal because he said, we're not going to the White House. You may not agree with LeBron James on politics, but when he called the president a bum and said that the voters who voted for him were uneducated, he didn't get a marketing deal from a sports sneaker company because of those opinions. He got a deal in spite of those opinions, potentially, or entirely because of his athletic ability. Sports is a meritocracy. The best man or best woman wins. Nobody walks into a locker room who's a good coach and says, you know what? We've got shittier facilities than these guys. Your dads all make minimum wage, and you haven't seen them in months. Your moms all had way too many kids, and there's no way on earth that you could hope to compete with all those rich kids out there who arrived at this game in a BMW. So therefore, let's not even play the game. If your coach did that and he wasn't trying to psych you up in the opposite direction, that would be coaching malpractice. Because sports gets America right. We are all equal, and the best man or woman wins. And it doesn't matter who your daddy was, and it doesn't matter who your mommy was, and it doesn't matter what school you went to, or even if you went to school. If you are a transgender dwarf, extrovert, piano-playing, incredible football player, then Bill Belichick will put you behind center and let you, with your tiny little hands, throw the football for him. because all Bill Belichick cares about is winning. The best man or woman that makes him able to win gets the job. That is why sports gets so much right. Don't mistake what Nike is doing here. They are making the decision to give Colin Kaepernick millions of dollars because of his politics. Okay, think about that for a minute now. Not because of his ability. He is being paid among the top NFL players because of his political beliefs. That is an important signpost and distinction over anything else in athletics. What does that lead to? Okay, Nike stock has dropped billions of dollars in market cap. The stock market is the ultimate test case for whether decisions are made that are good or bad. Nike stock has dropped by billions of dollars. At the opening of market today, and I don't know what it is right now, stock market guy can tell me, Nike has dropped somewhere around $3 billion in market cap. This makes this the most expensive marketing buy in the history of sports commerce, okay? The stock market is saying we are leery about this reaction. There are lots of people out there who say they are no longer going to buy Nike. Let me tell you something. I walk into sports apparel stores on a somewhat regular basis. Every 3 months, probably at least, I go into a sports apparel store. Because I got a 10-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 3-year-old. And they're all different ones playing sports. We need all different sorts of products every single day, right? Okay? Every single day I make that decision that I go in. Do you know what I've previously thought when my kid needs to get new tennis shoes or needs to buy a jersey or needs to buy a water bottle or anything else? Which one does he like the most? Which one is the best price? Which one has the right size for his shoe? Here is what I will tell you. I will no longer, this is me personally, as a 39-year-old father of 3, I will choose not to buy Nike. Why will I do that? Because as a consumer, I believe it's my responsibility to respond to companies in the marketplace that I disagree with. Now, I'm not going to run around and protest, God forbid. I'm not going to spend time on Facebook and Twitter trying to organize a boycott. I'm going to choose to buy Under Armour, Adidas, Reebok, New Balance, Asics. Do they still make British Knights and LA Gear? There are tons of sneaker companies out there. I'm going to choose to not give Nike my money. I'm not going to buy Nike apparel. I'm not going to buy Nike shoes. I'm not going to help in any way Nike to make more money. Now, you might say, you know what? There are tons of people who are going to do the exact opposite of you, Clay Travis. You might be right. Maybe Nike has run the math on this, and they believe the long-range impact for them is going to be good. All I can tell you is that the Travis family, which otherwise would be spending hundreds of dollars a year on Nike products, is not going to buy Nike products anymore. Now, some of you are out there like, well, you still eat at Chick-fil-A, and Chick-fil-A doesn't believe in gay marriage. First of all, I don't care what Chick-fil-A believes in, because their chicken sandwich is better than everybody else's chicken sandwich. If Nike's tennis shoes were so infinitely better than every other option, if this were Russia in 1964, and otherwise I was going to have to wear like big clodhopper 1940s buckles like the Pilgrims used to wear to play sporting events, then I would buy Nike. That to me is the functional equivalent of a bad chicken sandwich. All right? This isn't the same thing. This to me is not even remotely the same, because all sneakers, I think, at this point in time are virtually indistinguishable. I don't think very many people out there are putting on shoes and able to tell the difference. You know, like a taste test? Like, I don't think most people can tell the difference between Miller Lite, Bud Light, and Coors Light if you just don't give them the label and you have them sit down and drink a beer. Are there some people who can do it? Yes. Can very many people tell the difference between a $4,000 bottle of wine and a $40 bottle of wine? No, I don't think they can. All of these are effectively products that are competing against each other, which are relatively equal. I believe if you give me a Chick-fil-A sandwich and you give me a McDonald's chicken sandwich, I can tell which one is better based on taste. Okay? This, to me, is beyond a shadow of a doubt true. So, as a result, I will not be buying Nike. But here's the thing. I don't think it's good for America for me to walk into a apparel store, and when I buy sneakers, for me, have to sit there and think, you know what? Do I agree with the politics of this sneaker company? When I go for a hamburger, I don't want to pull into a hamburger place and sit around and think, you know what? Do I agree with the politics of this sneaker company? Do they respect me in any way? And as a result, I think this is what's happening in America. We are getting so sliced and diced up into different little interest groups that now every time you do anything, you have to sit around and spend a lot of time making a decision about what you're going to wear, right? And I don't think it makes any sense. I don't want to do that. This is not a choice I would have made. And so I think this is an example of Nike losing their minds and having no idea what their marketplace actually is. I think that there's a lot of dads and moms like me who aren't just buying shoes for themselves. They're buying shoes for huge numbers of members of their family, and they will decide not to buy Nike. And I think that's what the stock market is reacting to. I think what you're going to see is a decline overall in Nike's revenue. I think there are going to be a lot of Nike products that are left. Now, a couple of other things here. Think about the NFL. I hate to make the NFL an incredibly innocent party, given many of the decisions the NFL has made. But the NFL has bent over backwards to try to avoid politics this year. They are doing everything they can to say, hey guys, let's get back to football. Television ratings are down nearly 20%. Overall revenue for television partners at ESPN, Fox, NBC, and CBS has declined over $600 million off of budgets. And they're trying to do whatever they can to get back to just football. I respect that. Some of you would say, well, you're watching the NFL even though some players kneel. And that's true. And you know why? Because I love the NFL. I love football so much that I'm not willing to let players who are making what I think are self-serving and inefficient and ineffective protests actually impact whether or not I watch the NFL. Some of you might. That's perfectly fine. I'm not willing to do it, okay? And so as a result, when you actually look at this mess, the NFL was so close to being over Colin Kaepernick, and then Nike, which is the apparel and shoe company that has signed a 10-year deal with the NFL, throws them under the bus. Guys, I can't believe it. If I were an NFL owner or if I were Roger Goodell, I would be looking into our contract right now and finding a way to end it. Seriously. Because if you are a partner of mine and you decide to feature someone who is suing the NFL for collusion as part of your advertising campaign, that is not a partnership I want to be involved in. Moreover, if you are going to be producing league-sponsored products, can you imagine how many people are going to try to wear Colin Kaepernick cleats? Can you imagine how many people are going to try to wear Colin Kaepernick t-shirts on the field for Nike, which is allowed under NFL rules, in fact required? Can you imagine what a mess this is going to be in the overall product? This is unbelievable. I'm going to block this guy. I don't know if he's that dumb. I have addressed why they're kneeling all the time, and I'll get to that in a minute. The truth of the matter is this, okay? This was a totally, unbelievably stupid move by Nike. Now, if Reebok or Under Armour or Fila or whatever other tennis shoe company had the deal of the NFL, I would have agreed with it. I would have said, you know what, this is a good move. I agree with it. Because then at least you're attacking somebody. If this were some small Chinese sneaker company and they signed Colin Kaepernick, more power to him. By the way, I don't begrudge Colin Kaepernick taking the money from Nike. I don't blame Colin Kaepernick. He's unemployed. He gets millions of dollars to work less. Good for him. It's a stupid decision by Nike. Now, here's the other thing, okay? Here's the other thing that I think you need to factor in. They said, why don't you address why he's protesting? The dude is an idiot, okay? Colin, and I've said this a ton, but I'm going to run through it with you right now. Colin Kaepernick began to protest the national anthem and the United States flag when Barack Obama was president and Loretta Lynch was the attorney general, a black man and a black woman. who were ensuring that the federal government was investigating any police shooting of minorities to ensure that those police were not escaping justice due to the blue wall of silence or a cover-up among local police officers. In other words, Colin Kaepernick took a knee to protest an action that the federal government, helmed up by Barack Obama and by Loretta Lynch, was already doing. In other words, if you're like, what about minorities getting killed by police officers? Already the president and the attorney general, who are both of your race, were investigating and ensuring that this was not happening. Okay? On top of that, when you took a knee only to protest police shootings of black people, you ignored 75% of all police shootings which feature white, Hispanic, or Asian people as their victim. In other words, Colin Kaepernick's protest only dealt with 25% of all police shootings. If you believe that police are shooting people too often, what you should be doing is actually protesting all police shootings. Moreover, unarmed people shot and killed by police are so insanely rare. This is an important stat that nobody else in sports media will share, and this is a big part of my book, Republicans Buy Sneakers Too, that when unarmed people are shot by police, it's actually happening less often than bees, wasps, or hornets are killing people. When you leave your house in the morning, regardless of your race, if you do not have a gun with you, you are more likely to be killed by a bee, a wasp, or a hornet that day and that year than you are a police officer. Moreover, you are 5 times as often going to be hit by a train. Now, some people out there saying no unarmed person should ever be shot. Sometimes people are shot because they're trying to take the gun from a police officer, because they are punching or kicking a police officer, because they are choking out someone in a house. You could be unarmed, have somebody in a sleeper hold, have your hands around somebody else's throat, and you could be trying to kill someone, and a police officer could be saving someone's life. Unarmed does not mean without danger. You could be unarmed, tackle a police officer, and be trying to take their gun. You could be unarmed, standing over someone, punching them again and again, refusing to listen to police commands to stop. Again, unarmed people are almost never shot. And when they are shot, the vast majority of the time, it is justified. Furthermore, if Colin Kaepernick is upset by the death of minorities, focusing on police shootings of minorities is like an 800-pound man being upset because his pinky is too fat. The vast majority of black murder victims in this country are killed by other black people. 93% of all murders of black people occur by other black people. If you are upset about the murder rate in this country, more power to you. Shouldn't you be trying to address the overall large murder rate in this country, as opposed to focusing on the tiny pinprick of a pinky of police misconduct? Moreover, when you focus on police and wear socks which label police officers as pigs, and when you say that police officers are modern-day slave catchers, you are actually making it more dangerous for minorities and for police officers in this country, because you are creating a toxic situation where young minorities do not trust police and where police do not trust young minorities. Rather than making the situation better, you are actually making the situation worse. Police are in much greater danger from others out there than we are in danger from police, okay? While you may watch a viral video, and by the way, I've said this many times and I'll say it again, if a police officer commits a crime, they should be prosecuted. Very often they are. Typically, why people are upset is because a jury does not convict. That is because the standard of beyond a reasonable doubt is a high standard to meet. People always love to respond. The number one cause of murder of whites by other whites. Yes, but a smaller percentage. Black people are more likely to kill white people than white people are to kill black people. And the murder rate in black America is infinitely higher than the murder rate of any other race or ethnicity in this country. Around 2% of the population in this country commits over half of all murders. That's black men between the ages of 16 and 45. About 2% of the population commits over half of all murders. That is a major epidemic that needs to be addressed. Black men killing other black men. Listen to police. People will not help to solve crimes in all of these cities. The only time when athletes get upset is when they believe falsehoods like the hands up, don't shoot, which we know is a lie because it was investigated by Barack Obama and his previous Attorney General, I believe Eric Holder. They determined that hands up, don't shoot was a lie. People believe fundamental untruths. They don't look at actual data. Far from making the world a better place, Colin Kaepernick has made America a more dangerous place. He has made it less safe for so many of us out there because he has created discord that is not real. And in the process, he has sold a fundamental untruth, which is the idea that police are the enemy, not to be trusted, and are trying to prey on minorities without any regard for truth or justice. That is just not true. And nobody in sports media but me, just about, is willing to stand up and say, let's look at the facts. These are lies that are being sold. And now Nike is paying millions of dollars to Colin Kaepernick and rewarding him for the lies that he embraced. And that is why I will not be buying any Nike product, and why, if you agree with me, I would encourage you to also do your own investigation, use your brain, and figure out whether or not you believe in that. Okay? This is undeniably all true what I have shared with you. Furthermore, in the last 20 minutes, I have addressed complex issues of race, policing, and relationships in this country in a way that Colin Kaepernick has not done in 3 years. He's instead sat around saying police are pigs. He's sat around and said police are modern day slave catchers, and he's being rewarded for it. That's not right. The way to make this country more equitable and more free is not to reward liars. It's not to reward people sowing division across our country. It's to reward people who are actually sharing facts about complicated and complex issues in this country. So, I have to tell you, that's why I'm on this platform. That's why I wrote the book, Republicans Buy Sneakers Too, which I hope you will all go buy, and I hope you will share, and I hope that using my speech, I can counteract hate speech and untrue speech, which has been embraced by many in the sports media and by many sports figures. I want to make education a real thing here. I want to make everybody smarter. I'm going to block this guy right here because if you are so dumb that you don't understand all of these things, what you will see happen all the time, okay? What you will see happen all the time is, go look at my timeline. For saying all of this, which is indisputably true and backed up by all facts, do you know what will happen? Everyone out there who is far left-wing will call me a racist for saying all of this. There is nothing at all racist about this. What we have seen is an expansion of what racism is till it occupies basically anything that is anything other than far left-wing thought. If you actually share facts and address complicated issues using those facts as underpinnings for your opinions, you are called racist. The expansion of the word racism to such a point is where we are as a society, why we can't have honest conversations, and why so many white people run in the opposite direction when they have all of this at play. Somebody said, say it again, the stat here, okay? Black men roughly are 6% of the American population. That's black men from 0 all the way up to 100, right? They are 6% of the population. Black men ages 16 to 45 commit over half of all American murders, okay? Over half of all American murders. That's around 2 to 3% of the overall black male, of the overall population in America. So we have a situation where 2 to 3% of the population is committing over half of all murders in this country. The way to address that is not to blame police. The way to address that is to figure out why we have allowed that to occur. Why we have allowed such a small percentage of the population to prey upon other members of that population. And by the way, their primary victims are other people around their same age. There has been, and by the way, the rates are coming down. That's one small positive. But the rates are still far too high. If Colin Kaepernick had protested the rate of black murder in this country, I still don't think it would have made sense to do it during the national anthem. But why would you decide to speak out only in a situation where you're alleging white people are to blame? Racism is to blame. So much of life is about accepting responsibility for yourself and not blaming others, not embracing the victim mentality. This is important stuff no matter who you are, where you're from. The only hand you can rely on is the one at the end of your sleeve. It's easy to blame external factors for why you are not successful. It's easy to blame others. It's much more difficult to look internally and say, am I being the best version of myself? Am I putting myself and my family and my relationships, people that I care about, in the best possible situation? I try to do that every day. I fail, but I try to do it every single day. I'm telling you right now, why is it that the only time NFL players speak out is when there is an ability to try to make themselves look like victims? It's a fascinating question. I don't think there's an easy answer. I'm not claiming that there is one, but I think the conversation has to actually include facts. Okay? The conversation has to actually include facts, and it can't be predicated on blaming other people, and it certainly can't be predicated on companies like Nike sweeping in and making somebody like Colin Kaepernick, who is speaking fundamental untruths, into a hero and rewarding him with millions of dollars for that. If you enjoyed this show, this is all backed up by facts. I'm telling you right now, share this show. My name is Clay Travis. This is Outkick the Show. I try to come to you every single day and be as smart, funny, authentic, and honest as I possibly can. Facts matter, okay? Facts matter. Go out today. Make sure that you share them. Share this show. I appreciate all of you. And if you want to make the same decision as me, it's an easy one. Don't buy Nike products. There's lots of other sneakers out there, every bit as good, if not better. I'm an Under Armour shareholder, was before the Nike incident, everything else. Got to tell you, I would have sold my Under Armour stock if they had signed Colin Kaepernick. And if I had Nike stock, I would sell it because they signed Colin Kaepernick. I disagree with it. The market agrees with me. Ultimately, woke sports is a bad business to be in. I love all of you. I appreciate all of you for coming out and hanging with me every single day. My name is Clay Travis. This is Outkick the Show. DBAP, boys and girls, unless SBAP. This has been Outkick the Show. Buy the book, Republicans Buy Sneakers Too. It'll make you smarter. And also, maybe it'll make your hair better. This has been a lot of fun, as always. I'll see y'all.